everybody. I'm Lauren Simonetti. It's been a week since the FCC voted to move forward with proposed net neutrality rules and this debate over net neutrality, which is the idea that internet providers should treat all web content the same. At both sides of the argument, here with me today, Gene Marks, a small business advisor and the owner of the Marks Group. He joins us from Philadelphia, and from San Fran, Mitch Stoltz, a staff attorney for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Good to see you, Gene and Mitch. Gene, we'll start with you. You call, literally, and I quote, net neutrality is a dumb idea. Why do you say that?
Yeah, and first of all, sometimes I pick headlines for my columns and it inflames people. Yeah, I did call it a dumb idea, Lauren. And I will say one thing. I've gotten a lot of comments back and forth about my position on net neutrality over the past few days. And you know what the one thing I've learned is that everybody really hates Comcast. That's definitely for sure. No matter which way you put it. My just position when it came to net neutrality, and I like to hear other people's point of views, is that I'm very concerned that if we do have net neutrality, I'm concerned about that if we do have net neutrality, I'm concerned about the government ultimately nationalizing the internet and running the internet. And I don't think that Comcast or Verizon or AT&T or any of the internet service providers or any great shakes. I have my complaints and issues with them as well.
But you trust the free market and capitalism over the government.
Yeah, I would rather put my faith in them with some oversight to run the internet, charge what they be, than the government itself. That's all I meant.
Mitch, how do you feel about that? I feel like Gene is buffering it a little bit. Your thoughts, Mitch?
I think so, but net neutrality, as Gene described it in his article, is stupid, but that's not what we should have. I don't think that's what we're going for. What we have right now is kind of a mishmash of proposed regulation that probably won't do much of anything. But that's a shame, because there are real threats from Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, big internet carriers, that they will not, that they won't treat everyone equally, but that they will they will give better treatment to favored partners.
Right,
and
like Netflix.
Startups.
Netflix is paying Comcast and Verizon in some instances, so they get that fast lane. They pay the toll, they get their traffic out faster, customers are happy, right?
Right, but I'm worried less about Netflix and more about the next Netflix, the next Facebook, the next whatever is being created in a garage or startup incubator or a school right now. They may not be able to participate at any price.
Yeah, I just to say back that, first of all, Mitch, what you're saying is absolutely reasonable, and I do have those same concerns. Netflix themselves, they had to raise their rates on new customers. They're saying now about $1 or $2 a month, or it could be a total fee for Netflix of $120 a year. So number one is, it's your option if you want to get Netflix at all. Maybe it's too expensive for you, so you don't watch House of Cards. But if you do, then you're paying an extra $1 or $2 a month, and that's your decision to make. I'd rather let those companies figure it out amongst themselves, and let the consumers, you and I, decide, than have the government involved.
Well,
that was my point.
It all ties back to the idea of whether the internet is a utility, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. And actually, and Mitch, only because I actually looked you up online. You know a lot about this issue, and probably more than me. And I am curious. In my column, I was looking at, yes, the internet as being a utility, and I think that the best solution is there to be some type of a public utility type of commission, right? Like a private and a public, group of people. Maybe it's regional, maybe it's national. That kind of keeps a check on companies like Comcast and AT&T to make sure they're not abusive, rather than just a full-blown net neutrality. And I'm curious to know your thoughts on that.
I actually agree with that. I think the solution is not comprehensive FCC regulation of the internet. I think the solution is, whether it's the FCC or some other body, but giving them targeted and really well-defined authority to stop the sort of abuses that really will squash free expression, entrepreneurship, and innovation on the internet, that will make innovation possible outside of the sort of the friends and partners of the big telcos.
So we need a new... Go ahead, Gene.
I was just going to say, and I think and that's exactly what I wrote about in my Forbes column, only because I've seen it, like in the Philadelphia area, Comcast, the Philadelphia company, they used to own the area, but from a cable TV standpoint back in the 80s and the 90s, but they actually had to subject themselves to get their charter renewed in different regions and go up in front of township and public commissions and really take a lot of heat. And it really did kind of keep them honest. So I'm thinking, okay, that model kind of worked in the cable TV world. If we accept the internet as being a utility, can't that same similar model work, to keep all of these companies honest without having the government or the FCC take complete control of the internet, which is what I'm concerned about.
You got to leave it right there. Thanks again to both of you, Gene Marks of the Marks Group and Mitch Stoltz of EFF. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching.